What's good, people? It's your
Yeah,
boy
yeah.
Rhino. Welcome to MGTV. We are live and alive. This is Let's Talk the Real. And we're going to be talking some real stuff today. No cap, man. Big up Alyssa in the building. What are you telling me, man?
Yeah. You ready? I know you're excited.
We're
We're on
back.
time today. We got a good
Yeah, trust
topic.
me. Big up Waki in the building as always. First. You're always
Big
first, my
wacky.
guy. Trust me, man. Big up Anna the
Not in
gamer
the
as well.
game.
Come on, Triple Trace, Samantha, come on. We
Let's
got the O's
go.
in the building.
Yes, sir.
We got the O's in the building. There's meant to be more people on the show today, but we'll see. We'll wait and see if anyone comes in as well. Yeah, man. We're gonna be talking about households. We're gonna be talking about what age we think is the right age to move out. Big up Stephanie. She says, "Big up Rhino and Alyssa. Come on."
Yes, sir,
Come on,
Steph.
man. Steph's my peoples, man. Like, what's the appropriate age to move out? I feel like a lot of people have a lot of different kind of perspectives on this, and we're gonna talk about it, man. Um, you know, I think it depends on the cultures as well. Oh, let me even change my
Absolutely.
background. My background's wrong. See, I'm lacking.
It's
I'm
okay.
lacking.
It's okay.
I'm lacking.
You
I'm
in
meant
your
to be all
football
black
mode.
today.
You
Yeah,
in your
yeah, I'm meant to
football
be all
mode.
black today. You feel me? Manada says, stay strong. Come on,
Yes,
100%.
sir.
Yes, big up
Bless.
Bless Snags as well. Come on, man. Come on. So obviously, I think it varies, isn't it? Like, depending on where you're from, country, all of that culture. Like, there's loads of different kind of factors.
Factors.
It could be age, it could be maturity. You know, depends. Sometimes it could be just a situation you're in.
Right.
Sometimes you find yourself in a situation where, people have lost their parents or something and they have to take the role of living on their own. Or maybe they don't get along with their parents, you know what I mean? Or their guardians and whatever. And it's a thing where you're forced to move out because there's a lot of toxic, toxicity,
Toxicity, my guy.
toxicity happening in the house. You feel me? You get me? I
Absolutely.
got there in the end. You feel me? But what about you, Alyssa, man? What's your summary of it? And then we're gonna
Oof.
go into it properly. Wait, before you even start, Anna just says age isn't the only factor, honestly. And she says I was having a kid at 18 and didn't want to still be at home raising a baby. Yeah, there you go. That's another example of a situation. Stephanie says hotel of mom and dad too cushy to move out. I hear that. I hear that. I hear that. I'm gonna go on there, Melissa, man. Talk to them, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like Anada said in the comments, everything and what you're saying, everything plays a factor. There's so many different situations when we talk about leaving home.
Yeah,
I think in a healthy situation, let's just say, like what Stephanie is throwing out there. It's nice and
yeah,
comfy at home. Your parents are supportive. You get along. Got your own space. They're really not kicking you out. I feel like by the time you're
yeah,
25, you should really just like if you did everything right and those were your type of parents, you went to school. By the time you're 25, I feel like you already did like your 3-4 years of college. You should be getting like your little internship type of deal. So I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like in a healthy situation, 25 would probably be like the most realistic. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
for succeeding on your own, not having to
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of move back home, if that makes sense. Um,
Hmm.
but then there's some of us that grew up, very very not getting along so well with our parents, to where you are, 13, 14, going into puberty. I think people don't talk
Hmm.
about growing up and how your emotions play a huge part
Yep,
in
yep, yep.
your adolescent, especially growing up, you know what I mean? So it's just like you're constantly bumping heads in your teenage years, and you're trying to find yourself. So I don't know. I think a lot of us have done the whole, we ran away from home at least once, or we slept at a friend's
Hmm.
house, or but definitely I think by the time we're like 17, 18, realistically, we're outside.
Yeah,
Have a great
yeah,
day,
yeah,
Steph.
yeah. Steph, see if you can. Steph, let me know if you're available around 10. I'm doing a football podcast as well straight after this one, so we're doing a back to back. But yeah, thank you, man. See you later, Steph, man. Love as always. Samantha's agreeing with you. She's saying facts. Anna just saying, me and my guy said if our kids want to stay, they can, but they gotta pull some weight, pay your own phone bill and maybe the Wi-Fi. but you have to be saving if those are the only bills we are requiring. And gifted chick is in the building. The OGs are in here. Trust me, man. Trust me. The OGs never miss a Sunday show, man. I appreciate you guys a lot, man.
So
But yeah.
responding to, can you pull that comment back up?
Which one? This one?
Anada's. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this comment here, right? If we really look at this, so this is kind of realistic as a parent raising a child, right? You want your kids to develop some type of responsibility because nothing in life is free, right? So they get to a certain age where they aren't, they don't comprehend what money or the value of something actually is, and then that's how they get comfortable. They don't want to go to school, they don't want to pitch in, they don't want to do anything that's motivating, right? And then it kind of comes with that little attitude of disrespect, and now they're rebellious, and you're just trying to get them to do something that since when they were younger, you kind of should have, because it doesn't even have to be a monetary value. Teaching responsibility and being responsible in general, chores, washing dishes, doing your laundry, cleaning up after yourself, cleaning yourself, so at some point too, kids have to be realistic that they're growing up, their parents are taking care of them their whole life, they put them in the best situation that they could possibly do, and without the pressure of course, being realistic about what it is your child can handle. We're talking if you know they have that ability to go fill out applications and that mental capability to work, but it definitely starts with the parents, especially the parents that have kids that are I don't want to say antisocial, but socially awkward, I guess we could say, right? That don't have or hold strong communication skills at the end of the day, because I think that's what it is for the younger generation. I think
it definitely depends on how well they're educated, like you said.
Absolutely.
As well.
And that's how I feel. I feel like, especially for like the younger generation, that's kind of what it comes down to. It comes down to that they're just being taught the wrong things, and they're not really outside communicating with people and socially out there. So it's like kind of like an anxiety, where they kind of just shut down, they stay within, and then they don't want to do anything, and then that's what causes the issues. The parents are yelling, the kid is misunderstood, there's mental health issues in there, you know what I mean? And it starts to get a little bit deeper than that.
Yep. I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. There's so many different little factors that are very kind of key in regards to when someone's ready. Like I said, it could be your circumstance. You might not be ready to move out, but your circumstance forces you out,
Right.
And sometimes, as Alyssa said, do they know how to fill out forms? Do they know how to go through the necessary we call it signposting, like signposting to the right things to help you live independently. So now, if we take a situation where the person was forced, this could be because of clashing, like Alyssa said, like maybe in her situation, it wasn't all gravy. You feel me? There was a lot of animosity, there was a lot of tension. So you might have thought, you know what, let me take myself out of this situation. So when you're in a situation like that, that can happen to you at an early age and you're not ready. You have to learn on the go. You have to learn about housing. Maybe you might have to go and get wealth care because you don't have a job and all that stuff. You feel me?
Right.
Obviously, in the UK, I'm not sure about how it is in America because I know you guys pay for like healthcare and stuff, whereas in the UK we don't. But when it comes to like living on your own and getting kicked out, there's a procedure you can go through where if you've been kicked out, the government can help you try and find someone to stay. Obviously, as the years have gone along, they've tightened it up a bit more. So it's a thing where before it might have been much more easier to get a place, but now you probably have to be homeless for a bit. Then they probably put you through like a shelter or like a little, you climb through the stages, probably then a hotel. Then they find you an apartment or a place to live in, whatever. And that's you learning on the spot. You might not be mature enough to know how to pay bills and whatever because you relied on your parents to do that. So, like, when we talk about being appropriate and what the appropriate age is, like Anna just said, it's not really about an age. It's more about maturity and circumstances.
Absolutely.
So I feel like circumstances definitely play the key part into whether you're ready to move out or not. And sometimes it's how independent you are. Some kids grow up and they just feel like they want to be independent already.
Absolutely.
They learn everything themselves. They feel like, you know what, they're counting the clock.
Right, right,
Listen, as soon as I'm a certain age, I'm gone. I
right.
want my own crib. And also, let's talk about another thing that can affect. Alyssa, what do you think about peer pressure? Like,
Um,
sometimes people might be forced to move out because they see other people moving out, so they want to move out just because their friends moved out, or you know what I mean. Let's talk about that. What's your opinion on
absolutely.
that?
Absolutely. We talk about peer pressure a lot. Peer pressure
Yeah,
kind of always it circulates always kind of back to that, right? And the pressures
yeah,
of society and stuff like that. But like you said, 10 years ago it was probably a lot easier to go ahead and just go through one of them systems and get an apartment. It's kind of the same way with the peer pressure, right? So
yeah.
I don't think there's anybody that's in a very healthy living situation with how our economy is. You know what I mean? Even the person with the most amount of money. Remember, different calibers of money call for different levels of maintenance. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep,
The more
yep,
money
yep,
you
yep.
have, the more expensive your lifestyle is. You
Hmm.
you know, so I think peer pressure wise, like absolutely when we were younger, especially graduating out of high school, and even if it was just going to college to dorm, it was still, oh, you're getting out of the house, right? So you're not at home with mommy and daddy type of deal, right? But i
Yep,
i
yep,
think
yep.
I think now in days that peer pressure is kind of not there. I don't think the kids nowadays even can wrap their head around what it is to actually not be under a household roof with their
Mm.
parents, if that makes sense, or a parent, like,
Yep, yep, yep.
because a lot of people too, like, it's not just about not getting along with your parents and moving out. I think where the peer pressure falls is kids feeling like they have to stay attached to their parents so that they can actually carry the other half of the load. I think that's where the biggest peer pressure is. It's growing up in those households where who's to say that you and your parent weren't bouncing around, or couldn't get it together, but you've always had to be that second income, you've always had to be that
Yeah,
second
yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah.
You get what
So
I'm
that's
saying?
another
So
situation, another example of peer pressure because the situation that's happened around you has forced you to kind of step up, you know?
yeah, and I agree with
Facts.
Gifted. Like I definitely agree with Gifted. Like it's definitely a cultural thing, but it also depends on, like, the region and where you live, and like how your family grew up, and what their traumas are and stuff like that. Because I think
Hmm.
what it is that the families who really do kind of stick together and they grow into those big families and stuff like that, there's a lot of toxicity, there's a lot of secrets behind closed doors, there's a lot of turning your head to certain things and your nose to maintain those relationships and to maintain those environments. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
Facts,
I think
facts.
what we're really doing is, even with Asians and like you said, African, like there's still a standard, right? So a lot of these parents, what it is they're narcissistic, right? So as long as you're doing what they want you to do, how they want you to do it, you're in school,
Yeah,
your work,
yeah.
whatever it is that they have set out for you, right? If you're following that format, then yeah, you're absolutely safe. But what happens when you decide to step left out of the box? Right. You understand what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's where
that
you kind of have
that
to adapt on the
right.
go. Yeah, you
Right.
have to adapt on
You
the
get
go
right.
because you might not be ready, but what they're providing for you, you just have to go with it. You feel
Right.
me? So you're gonna have to just freestyle on the spot. And that can be another example of maybe the clashing point. Because think about how ironic it is. Maybe your parents are forcing you to move out at a certain age. You're not ready, but that clash can cause you to want to move out anyway because you want to take yourself out of that situation. So
Right.
it can work double. You might not be ready to move out, but they're forcing you to, or they're forcing you to be in a specific situation because that's how the culture is. But at the same time, maybe that's causing you to clash with your parents now, and now you want to move out of that situation. So what do now? You have to adapt. You have to think on the spot. You feel
Right.
me? So let me get through some of these comments anyway. Yeah. So Gifted Chick here was talking about phone bills and household contributions. Anna the Gamer says we said we definitely aren't going to force the college issue, but got to at least graduate high school. Okay,
Agree.
yeah, she's carrying on what she said earlier. She says, "Man, if we can try, if we can, we try not at least pass down the house so they have somewhere to start. For real, for real. But my kids are 8 and 2, so I have a while to get this together. Yep, you do,
Now,
man. You
I
do.
will comment on that before you go to the next
Go on.
comment. Now, that's a lot of things that a lot of parents don't think about, either,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
they get it together late in their age, or family doesn't realize that property is probably the best thing that you can give
Yeah,
to your
yeah,
child to inherit, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if you're gonna
Facts,
grow up in a
100%.
house with them and that's where you're gonna like, raise them and stuff like that, then by the time they get to a certain age, they should know the in and outs of that household, to where if something
Hmm.
breaks,
Hmm.
they know mommy and daddy did it this way. Or
Yeah,
if they need to go call somebody, they know who to call because they've had the same person come into the house for the last 20 years to fix something. Like, but again, that's all within stability, and a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people
yeah.
don't have that,
Have stability. Yep, facts. 100%. 150%. And that's what I'm saying. This conversation, this topic, when you look at it on a surface level, it doesn't seem that like there's so many like underlying issues, but there is. 100% there
Mhm.
is, man. Big up FNR in the building, WWW's in the
Big
chat thing.
FNR.
Come on, come on. Magpies here says, yeah, you need to move out of your parents' house at this point. If you're 30 and you're living with your parents, you're a bit odd. I see what you mean, but at the same time, I would have to disagree with you because I feel like it just depends on your situation, innit?
Right,
In hindsight, I can see, and you know what it is? Magpies comes from a younger generation,
right,
so
right,
that just shows how they think already. They've
right,
set
right,
themselves to a standard where already they think they have a certain notion of how things should be, which is
right.
quite interesting, and that's why I like to have a diverse kind of uh,
Yeah, but
um
you know,
amount of people in the chat. You
right
feel
on.
me?
But let's be realistic. Yeah, he's from the younger generation of this generation. You understand what I'm saying? But like, we were once that age as well. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
I remember being 13 and I couldn't wait to be 16 so I could just go outside by myself. I couldn't wait to be 21 so I can just,
yeah, yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But at the end of the day, we were doing 20, 30-year-old shit at 14,
Words,
15 years
hundred
old.
percent.
You
Yeah,
understand what I'm
yeah,
saying? We
yeah,
were
yeah,
sneaking
yeah.
into clubs. We were out drinking with our friends. We were already having sex. Like,
So we're already growing up
we
early
were
already.
already
Yeah,
grown.
yeah,
Right. We
yeah,
were
yeah,
already
yeah,
grown. You understand what I'm saying? If nobody came to look
yeah,
for us, nobody came to look for us. If we didn't get home at a certain time, they didn't care if we slept outside.
yeah, 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 yeah. And to
So,
even touch on that as well, sorry to cut you off. I feel
no, go
like
ahead.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's subjective as well. You need to. It depends on what situation you're in. Some people like are still with their parents, but they're contributing to things as well. So
Right.
it just depends. And then you've got the other side of it where maybe you can consider the person not in the best of situations where they kind of still relying. And I wouldn't say there's a perfect time to move out. It just depends when you're ready. But at the same time, if you've you can overdo your stay.
Right.
If sometimes you have to get it together because if you don't, then you fall into the category of complacency where you just
Mhm.
don't want to step up and make that step up to the next level because
But
you're so comfortable with your position.
we're missing something with that 30 plus group of people as well.
Go on,
Normally,
talk to them.
normally the people who are 30 plus that are still living with their parents are taking care
Yeah,
of their parents. Their parents are elderly already. You understand what I'm
yeah,
trying to
yeah, yeah,
say?
yeah,
So whether they're living in their parents' home, right? So like, let's say Anada's kids grow up and she's
yeah,
leaving that home to them anyway, right? They're not gonna
yeah.
pass away when the kids are fucking a certain age. You understand what I'm saying? But they're next to inherit the house anyway. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Yeah,
everybody in the household, as long as they all grow up to maintain the household and stuff like that, it really kind of flips. The kids now give the parents the room. The parents move out of the big room. You understand what I'm saying? And now the parents live in their house, but in their child's home because the kids are helping them. You
them
get what
out.
I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
there's also that dynamic of like, there's in this society right now, in this economy right now, you have to make at least 80,000. You have to make at least 80 to 100,000 to live comfortably, like all your
Mm.
bills paid, and
And
then
that's
have a
dollars,
little bit of
people.
money.
That's for the
Okay.
the Americans in the chat and the
Okay, yes, that's
overseas
for the
kind of people.
Americans.
Yeah.
Okay, that's about anywhere between anywhere between what, $30 and $47 an hour that you have to make to just be just right. You understand what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So like, there's no, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And SSI and all of that shit is not the same. And like you said, we don't get free medical on this side of the
So
planet. You
what's
understand what I'm
SSI
saying?
for the people from the
It's
UK?
Social
What's
Security.
SSI?
It's a Social
Social.
Security income.
Okay, that's the
All right.
shortened.
Right.
Okay,
So
cool.
you
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying? Once they get to a certain age, like, that money is not maintaining them. The elderly need just as much help as the younger generation needs help.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me just do a promotion quickly. Keep talking. I'm just
But
putting up
you know, let's see.
promotion
The
on Snapchat.
parent-child dynamic plays a role too. Do you even get along with the parent? Is there a step parent in the home? No, and absolutely, and that's what we talked about. Like when we first went into it, we can't help that at certain ages, we get into it with the parents or and let's
Yeah,
just
we
be
spoke about that
realistic.
earlier. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and let's just be realistic. Not all parents are the best parents, and we all know that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes
Mm-hmm. Talk it. Talk it.
step parents come into the picture and they make shit worse. They
Yeah.
start to enable the parent that's already not doing shit. So and if your parent isn't shit and they attracted some ain't shit, then now you have that dynamic of where the 16 to 21-year-old is busting their ass to pay all the bills in the house, and their parent is the one that can't meet the ends.
Yep. Yep. And that's where it flips around now. And then that kind of leads me to segue into the situations where maybe sometimes the parent is ill. It
Mm-hmm.
could be a mental situation as well. It,
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't know what happened there. That
What happened?
my computer just froze. Like everything just froze. Like I just saw my
Imagine, I
face like
thought it
that. I
was
was like,
me, yo. I thought it was me. I'm over here running back and forth trying to do the Wi-Fi.
I need to give you the main link so that when you log in, you can take over the show. If I'm so basically, when I freeze, if you're still good, you can
Yeah,
just
I
stay in the
stayed.
chat.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
stayed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry about that technical difficulties. Lucky I got my other computer open, so I just put in technical hitch. But we're
Right,
back,
right.
and I was so caught off guard that I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, that's it. So sorry about that. Apologies, people, but appreciate the patience and you guys that waited around. But yeah, we're back. I feel like, yeah, for example, your parent being an alcoholic, um, drug addict, or
Absolutely.
mental health and whatever. So those situations can force you to kind of have to grow up. And then what I was going to talk about is if you have a sibling, you know, that you're looking after, you might be a bit older and you've got a younger sibling and you guys are in a situation where you're stepping up because your parents or your guardians are not adequate to do the role. And you don't want to call for help because if social services and stuff get involved, they're going to put you in a home, but you want to be, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you see it in a lot of films as well, where they don't want to call for help because it means they might be separated or taken away and stuff like that. So it gets real serious, man. Let me go through some of the comments. Let me see here. So Anna just talking about peer pressure. Peer pressure is a stay in your lane type situation. Don't live beyond your means, not someone else's. 100%.
Absolutely.
And Gifted said facts. I know the way she said absolutely. Facts. Samantha says, I move out at 25, but I move my dad in with me at 30 because he was having a hard time. Yep.
See? Exactly.
That's a situation I was talking about.
Yep. Exactly.
And she said, I don't have it yet, but I'm damn sure I'm going to try and obtain for my kiddos. Come on. You got to do what you got to do. Facts. Yeah, like you don't want to inconvenience your parents. Yeah, that's what we were speaking about earlier. Like Alyssa saying, my mum with me, but she's an older single lady. I'm not going to have it on her own paying bills. Yep.
Oh, look at the man in the relationship over there.
Waki says, my sister is 30 and living with my mum, basically taking care of my mum, but she's closer to 60. That's what I'm saying. I feel like depending on your situation, you know, it's not always, there's no, okay, you're 30 now, you have to move out. There's no rules, you know. It's all about what's happening. And also, like I said, sometimes you have to step up. You need to say, okay, you know what, let me get a job, let me be independent. But then sometimes you have to stay to help as well. So yeah, it's very tough, man. Waki said only because she had bad knee pains. No, I hear you. Big up yourself for that, man. Gifted Trick says, yeah, my mother turned 60 this year. Anna just saying she not lying. Yeah, that's what you said. Your last point that the last point that Alyssa made. Samantha's just screaming facts. Waki screaming facts. And Anna just says here, I had to help my grandma sign up for programs recently because her bills are going up, but her SSI
isn't. Thank you. I brought that up too.
Okay, yeah.
I know what I'm talking about.
Social Security. Yeah, trust me.
We could talk living situations all day.
Yeah.
I could give you 1,000 different scenarios.
I don't know if she froze, but listen, it was me. Gifted, yeah, it was me. It was all me. So me, guys. Look at all the questions. Everyone panicking for me. Listen, I'm feeling the love. Listen, you thought that someone took me in Alyssa away. Listen, we're good people. We're all right. Thank you for the concern. Thank you, man. Nah, it's all love, man. I love you guys. She's like, okay, not just me. I don't know. Yeah,
they're funny. They're funny.
So these are the comments for when we froze. Yeah.
Punzerific.
I hope it didn't catch me slipping, you know, some mad like freeze framing that.
Nah, it went completely.
Okay. So Magpie says here, I was busy with something, but yeah, you made a good point there. But I feel like if you're at a certain age, you should be working to move out. Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's what I said about that step. Yeah, and that's what I said about the whole 25 age range. You know what I mean? Like, you know, realistically, you know, you graduate high school 17, 18, you know, another couple of years in college, you land your job out of college, and then you should be ready to like go on ahead, save your money for the year, and be ready to go. Right.
Facts, 100%. Magpie says here, my plan is if I get a girl, all right, go on, Magpie, do your thing, boy. And we both have a well-paying job. We'll get our own apartment or rent a house by the time we're 2022. Okay, so you have a plan towards it. That's a nice way to do it. You know, life doesn't always allow your plans to work.
We all had a plan.
We all have plans, you know. We're all secret masterminds, but life, listen, life can get the best of you, man. Trust me. And well-paying job. And Noah says, big up Ryan on MGTV, the legend. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I've been getting a few of those kind of comments. I was on my guy's show the other day, and someone was calling me a South London legend. I was like, thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. So if you know, you know, innit? If you know,
You
you
know,
know.
you know.
But we're 30 minutes in, people. Listen, like the video. It's free. It helps the algorithm. It's a little thumbs up, you know. Let me see where it is for you guys. You know, just under the title. Yeah, it's like a little thumbs up. Please click that. And if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and please put post notifications on as well. That will be really much appreciated, man. And go and follow Alyssa on Twitter. I'm gonna put her handle inside the description. Let me do it right now,
Oh, my
actually, so
stuff went
that
away. I didn't see that.
um.
Oh no, I didn't. It's still there.
See.
It's on my headline.
Oh, it's on the headline, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just double check though to make sure. Make sure it's all good. Okay, I'm gonna put it here as well. So if you guys check the comment section right now, there you go. She's tagged in there, and
Appreciate you.
her Twitter is the same, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me put it in right now for the people in the chat. Twitter, yeah. So I've tweeted it, so you guys can go and check the tweet on my Twitter, and then you can literally just follow her from there as well. And I've now put her YouTube link inside the description, so you guys subscribe to her channel. Listen, she does a lot of gaming stuff, and she does a lot of other things as well for the community as well, man. So
hey, let them know.
Yeah,
Did I
man,
just get
come
a
on.
flower? Like, I got
Come on. Listen, man. Flowers are being sent. You feel me? Jade's in the building. Big up, man.
Hey. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's going on? What's good? Welcome to the show, man. It's been a minute.
We get the perspective on what age, and then we move on to if these kids are entitled. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to get your quick opinion on it, and on it, Jade, on what you think about the appropriate age, or what your whole outlook is on it, and yeah, then we move on to the next topic.
At the moment, I'm gonna have to be so real and say I don't think there's an age to move out because everything is so expensive.
Yeah,
My thing is,
yeah.
if you can stay at home for as long as possible and still help out your parents, I'm not talking about taking the absolute mick and just living rent free, doing whatever you want. I'm talking about at least contribute a little bit and just save at the same time until you can afford to get your own place. Then
it makes sense, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 100%, man. That's it. That's summed up real nicely, man. It's very, very hard times right now in terms of what do you call it? Cost of living. Cost of living is crazy right now. Like things that even when it comes food, bills, everything. Like yeah. You feel me? So
because you can have the roof, but we're not talking about a lot of families aren't really out here eating like that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a struggle.
Yeah. It's a struggle. It's not easy. It's like everything's gone up, and then people in the jobs are not paying enough
absolutely.
So it's like, what do you do then? You're not paying me enough when I work for it, and how am I meant to survive? So it's hard times out here, man. Very hard times. But cool. We're gonna move on to the next topic. I had to keep that chat up there because it kind of makes me feel good. So
I got you. I know you got something at 10. So let's get this one in. And
yeah. So
today.
Come on, man. Time's flying. Come on, listen. You know it's lit when me and Alyssa are in the chat and Jade as well. You know it's a lit vibe. Right. You feel me? You get me? So, in regards to the young generation now,
here goes Mac.
Why is this young generation so entitled? Why? Let me go through the comments actually quickly. I think men more likely to want to leave earlier to impress a ting. Yeah. I said a ting, you know. Yeah, is that the lingo you guys got as well?
Guys will live with their mother for the rest of their life if you let them.
Yeah, I think it could work both ways. But it kind of goes back to what Jade said as well. Like, be comfortable. Be comfortable. Leave when you're ready. You feel me? Like, don't worry about what everyone else is doing. When you know you're ready, and as long as you have a plan, then I think it's cool, man. You feel me? Make sure you have a backup. There you go. Yeah. That's Magpies talking to Another. Oh, plan not go. Okay, that they are responding to what Magpie says. Talika in the chat says, I agree. Listen, we're still waiting for Talika to feature on the show. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, Talika. We're waiting for you to feature on the show.
The clock's
'Cause you're in-
ticking,
you-
Talika.
Yeah, the clock's ticking. We want to hear your opinion, but big up yourself as well, though. If you get a ting, yeah, everyone's talking about tings now. We have to have some respect. You know, if you have a female in your life, you have a girlfriend, yeah. And,
Yeah, but all right, like
Yeah, go on.
all right, like, you know, living situations, here we go. Like, you move in with somebody, right, and you move out of your parents' house. Like, it's kind of the
Yeah.
same shit, because now you're dealing with somebody else's energy, their attitude. You guys have to be financially, like, not even, I'm not gonna say like secure, but like there has to be financial conversations, and a lot of people get uncomfortable when it comes to having real conversations, especially when it comes to their finances. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it sounds good, you know what I mean, but you know, living with someone that is your spouse, you know, you got to think about it too. Like, you know, not
Yeah, it's a
everything's
big
gonna be a
step as
good
well.
day, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know,
Especially
y'all
if
start-
mentally you're not
Right.
ready, and now you're taking on a load of someone else as well, whether she's ready or not. That can add to the growth and the development of how ready you are to live on your own.
Absolutely.
you
And
know?
then not only
Yeah.
that, then it kind of affects your relationship, because it makes you think like, what are we together for? Are we together because we can't live on our own and afford it? Or are we together because we genuinely care about each other and we want to grow and build into a life together? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
eventually it just turns into resentment. You
Yep.
you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
there's,
100%.
again,
Yeah.
there's so many factors.
100%. Chris here says probably depends where you are in life for you to move out in your 20s. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Basic what we said here. And this is the last one. Okay, well, yeah, this goes on to what we're talking about next anyway. And big up to Lika. She says she's here. She's coming soon. Say no more. Gifted Chick here says these kids entitled because they have everything at their fingertips. It's commonplace for an 8-year-old to have a phone. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, right now, the generation that we're in, everything is moving so fast, and people are people are having sex earlier. People are making more money. The younger generation have got money nowadays, whether
Absolutely.
it's legal or illegal, they're making money. And then obviously there's more opportunities as well. We've got things like social media. We've got different ways to be paid: TikTok, Instagram,
Right.
Twitch, Kick, all of those things. You feel me? So there's loads of opportunities right now. So the younger generation are growing up a lot faster. They're making money younger. They're experiencing life younger. I see 16-year-olds taking flights to Spain. Not 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, sorry, taking flights to Spain. You know, going on doing certain things that you probably think they will do in their early 20s. You know, like a lot of these young kids, they're living up to someone, and I think the pressure for them is scary because so many of their peers are living the quote unquote high life that a lot of these kids force the image. And it goes back to what we spoke about in regards to the pressures of social media and stuff. And I think social media plays a part to why this young generation is entitled as well. They want everything here and now. They don't want to work for it. When I was 16, compared to 16-year-olds now, it's so different. I did everything off my own back, and I'm sure Alyssa and Jade can chime in as well. But I feel like I just had to look for everything myself, and I'm more wanting to impress my parents and show them I can do it. And
Right.
obviously, at the same time, it's like now you can just go on Google, you can just type
Yeah.
help. You know, there's so much help nowadays,
Yeah.
man.
There's a lot more opportunities now, and it,
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
said,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
you can just
And it's-
you can do a crazy video on TikTok and it could just go viral. You can get
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
asking you to promote their things and get money that way. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
so many
yeah.
different avenues and doors that you can just walk through.
No, absolutely.
know
And I'm
what's-
not gonna lie.
Yeah, go on,
This
go on, Audrey.
generation, they're not afraid to ask for money. I didn't grow
Yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
asking people for money or
Yeah.
like wanting money or nothing like that. These kids go live every day and literally they just plain out blatantly say, yo, send me money. You feel me?
Yeah.
And they get lucky. They get the people that really
Yeah.
do just sit there and just fucking send them money all day. Like,
Yeah.
You know?
100%. And do you know what's so mad, you guys? Yeah. What's interesting for me is that this young generation have it easier, but somehow they're still more lazy. In a sense, they're not lazy where there's a lot of hardworking young people, but I feel like sometimes because there's so many opportunities of people going viral overnight. I feel like it takes away the graft of trying to work up the long way. So
It does.
instead of someone trying to get a job and then do it in a year, they want to do it in a month. So
No,
they will
absolutely.
rather take the shortcut. I feel like and it's so mad because back in my days, I'm making me sound mad old, but back in the days, I feel like we grafted for it. We wanted to work. We believed in it.
Right.
And it takes me back to the music thing. I manage artists, and there was a stage of my career where I had young artists, and like it doesn't matter. It obviously is subjective to the individual, but I had certain artists that at their age they had everything on their plate, but
Right.
sometimes if other things are going on in their life, they still weren't motivated. And I think to myself, someone's giving you studio, someone's giving you supplying you with all the stuff you need. Go
Right.
ham with it, you
And-
know. Whereas
Yeah.
when I was young, I had to work for that and go ham with it on the same time. But it's
Right.
like now kids don't want to do that. They just want it easy. They want to go blow. They want to blow and be famous overnight, in opposed to kind of building towards
No,
it.
absolutely. And back when we were growing up, YouTube had just came out,
Yeah,
Vine
yeah.
and all of that stuff. Like, we were social media heavy through Instagram and those type of apps and MySpace and stuff like that. Like the first apps that ever really
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out, But and then we can't honestly we can't ignore COVID. COVID for the last 3 years, that's kind of like the prime of when kids really go out and they start like experience life and they're social, you know what I mean? And a lot of these kids were on lockdown going through that change of, from middle school into high school or from high school into college or you get what I'm saying? So I think COVID also kind of just made everybody just very complacent too on like people had to find a way to make money at home, right? People had to find a way to continue getting income, whether it was being on the streets or doing whatever they were doing. So it's just like now, right? What's the difference? Okay, so there's no COVID, but jobs are still not paying what they need to pay. So why not just keep doing what you're doing? And I think that's where it's at,
Yeah. Facts.
Like, I
Facts.
mean, even for me, like, even your trade, and people don't, talk about that either. Like, you get older and certain things that you do or like certain things that you've done in the workforce, your body don't move the same at 40 as it did at fucking 25.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm
words.
trying to say?
You're
not running circles around anybody at a certain age. You're hurt, your body's whatever. You're really not in good health, technically,
Yeah, facts.
So, there's just so much. There's just so much shit.
Chris here says kids in year 6 are having Gucci bags. It's crazy. So I think obviously UK year 6 is 10 at the age of 10. So I don't know what grade or whatever that.
No, I hear him.
In America.
I have one of my really, really good friends. His aunt owns a restaurant, and his nephews, for real, they walk around in Yeezys and they're 11, 12, 13. You get what I'm saying? The older brother's like 21 years old, coming home with fucking gold APs. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's that pressure too of like, the younger teenage brothers see their older brother getting it. You know what I mean? And like mommy and daddy got it, right? So now it's just like, that's just what it is,
Yep. Trust me. And now you see a year 6 with a Gucci bag. All the
like,
other year
what
6
about the 16-year-old that gets a brand new car on their 16th
Yeah,
birthday?
yeah. That's a good example.
That just had their permit for a year.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't remember, like, I didn't grow up with the worst. Like, my mom was a single mom. You get what I'm saying? Like, for most of my life until she got married. And my stepfather, he was very well off. So my life went from being like, a kid living in a basement to a kid living on a lake in a private community with 6 other bedrooms. You get what I'm saying? So it really just kind of depends, because then even going into my adulthood, right? It's like, I think that's what parents don't really teach their kids, is that relationship with money. They don't teach them how to save or buy their own stuff, or like, I would ask my dad, like, and this is the difference between my mom and my dad. So when I was younger, right, my mom would buy me whatever I wanted. It didn't matter, like, whatever I wanted, nice clothes, sneakers, shoes, whatever she can afford. But that's because she grew up very, very poor. You understand? So having her own kids, she just she didn't want them to lack, right? So it was very
Yeah.
materialistic in the household growing up. But my dad, I'd ask my dad for something, he'd be like, "Come here, let me show you how to make $10 real quick."
Yeah.
So it depends on the parents too, and we talk a lot about
Yeah.
like our generational stuff and like our parents' burdens and their trauma, and sometimes they don't realize that they projected what they went through as children until their kids are old enough and they aren't productive and ahead in society and doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, facts, 100%. The influence of what's around you, and sometimes if you don't communicate and show kids that this is how it is, I'm gonna look after you, but this is how I want you to be, so that when you come to my situation, you understand. Like, it's like basically, if someone's always giving you something, but they don't explain the thought
Why
process
they're giving
behind
it
it,
to you, right?
you just feel like, yeah, this is how life is meant to be. I'm meant
And
to
that's
always
what
receive
creates
stuff.
the entitlement.
Feel me? Yeah, yep. Talika says here, children are exposed to much more. Magpies, kids these days are disrespectful. If I was disrespectful to my parents, they'll kick me out the house. Word. Big up Rainer calling the building. My peoples, big up. USA Tech says my kid is just one.
Tries to pinch zoom in physical photos.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Talika here says, let's not forget the kids going to schools with frontals, nails, and eyelash. Yeah, listen.
Absolutely.
It's mad.
Absolutely.
It's mad. 10 more minutes, people, and we're going to close out. Yeah, like the video if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. Why? Why don't you want to subscribe if you haven't subscribed? Just subscribe. Please put post notifications on. You feel me? We got red pill, blue pill content, and we got the football content as well. So, yeah. But yeah, listen. In regards to what Talika was saying about the frontals and nails and eyelashes, that's what I'm saying. So a girl goes into school and she's thinking, I want to be like that girl, especially if that girl's getting a lot of attention and she's looking good. And that probably forces kids that don't want to put on makeup and stuff yet to feel like maybe that's the way they have to go. So I think the moral of this whole thing, even appropriate age to move out, and why is this young generation so entitled, is just to live by your means. Stay in your own lane, believe in yourself and what you think is right when you are ready. Because the problem is when we start looking at other people that are doing better than us, or they're in certain
giving
situations.
The illusion, at least.
Yes, or people that are living that fake kind of illusion, like you were saying, it makes you feel like you have to be like that as well, and that's part of the problem. And on top of that, we need to communicate, whether it's communicating with our kids or communicating with our peers about what life is about and the realness. Like we said, back in school days, they didn't teach us about having good credit and certain things like that. And there's certain kids that are probably growing up in a situation where parents weren't really teaching them about money and how the value of money. I was fortunate for my parents to kind of teach me about the value of money from early, even though I'd still misused money when I was young.
Right.
They still kind of implemented the whole fact of work for your money. Until you work a job and you're getting what, £7, £9, £10 an hour, or $10 an hour, whatever. That's when you realize the value of how much a pound is.
Absolutely. When you expecting that, when you're expecting that $700 check and the shit says $350.
Yeah, every pound counts. Every pound and dollar counts. You feel me? So when you're only getting £10 for 1 hour of work, that's £1.
Yep.
Like, think about it. That's one. If I have to break down the math, that's £1 every 6 minutes. That's crazy,
Yeah, it's tough.
Crazy. So now you value that £1 in your pocket when you're going to the shop, and maybe you're not going to go and buy sweets or whatever. You're going to save it. You feel me?
Nah,
but obviously, as you grow up, you learn, and I feel like we need to kind of embrace this generation as well. There's a lot of negatives. There's a lot of entitlement and stuff. But if these if the young generation are taught in the right way, we can make great things of ourselves. You can create your own empires.
Absolutely.
Look at me doing YouTube. Anyone can jump on and do this and create your own following. And then you can now, I would love to see like a young podcast, like a 16-year-old group podcast, and they've got, they're talking about their own issues as well. And that's something that I've been thinking about as well. I'm just saying it here now. So if I don't do it and then tomorrow you see something like that blow
Yeah, I
up,
say that,
just
Rhino.
know.
Nah, Rhino, we can't be the same person, Rhino. You know, the influence, Rhino. Oh, geez,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
influential, right?
yeah. Come on, come on, come on. That's the way it's gotta be, though.
No, but
You
that's how it
know?
was when we were younger too, just to wrap it up.
Yeah,
But at
yeah,
that
yeah.
very young age, we talked a lot too with our peers, with our people. Like we did have those groups. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's just like I think nowadays that's just what it is. Like a lot of these kids are just they don't have social skills. Even some of the kids that do YouTube and they make this content and stuff like that, they're super dry. Their personalities are dry. They're really not funny. They're just catering to a certain audience that for some reason just likes to interact with the weird shit, I guess you could say. But you
Yep,
know
yep, yep.
like what you said, back in the day, whatever, like even if you wanted to be a rapper and stuff like that, like we was outside, we was in groups, we were rap battling people, we were looking for who had the studio to go get the studio time, or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
friend with the
yeah.
laptop and the little box connected
Yes,
and
yes,
trying to make our
yes,
own
yes.
beats and shit. You get what I'm saying? So like
Facts.
nowadays it's just like, what, a kid could really just go online, make a video, drop it on any instrumental, and if he's good, he's good,
He's
she's
going, he's
good,
blowing. Yep.
right? Like it's very different. You don't have to really go diving deep to go search for an opportunity. You can kind of just lay your brick.
Yeah. Facts, 100%. And that's what I'm saying. People have to make use of the opportunities they have. Because you guys,
Comparison is
this
the
young,
thief of joy.
yeah, yeah, it's facts. And that's what I'm saying. Stay in your own lane. Because you trying to be someone else, you're not going to be happy.
Right.
Especially when it comes to even things like always trying to please people. You're never
Right.
going to be happy if you're always trying to focus on things that don't make yourself happy first. It goes back to what you said earlier, Alyssa. You want to move out, you've got a girlfriend, but do you know yourself yet? Have
Right.
you lived yourself? Have you enjoyed? Do you understand how you understand your identity, understand the way you think, and understand where your life is going before you now put yourself in a situation where, because you've got a female and she wants to move out, or you
Right.
see other couples moving out, now you guys are both pressured to move out. But what if you are not ready to move out? Always think about yourself first.
Yep. Especially in the relationship stuff, everybody has their dreams and their goals and what they want to do, so if you're going to take that step with someone, you got to make sure that you can at least support them in the stuff that they were going to do before you took that step.
There you
it's
go.
only fair.
There you go.
It's only right. Only fair.
Yeah, 100%, man. Closing out in 2 minutes, people. I've got a football podcast at 10 o'clock. Talika says people will only show us what they want to see. Yep, facts. Clout can't buy charisma. Yep. I love these quotes.
Clout is not my what?
Listen,
clout is not
trust
my
me.
currency.
Clout is not my currency, even though clout is a currency.
One day, Rhino, and the whole internet for 2K went fucking shambles,
went crazy.
Thinking I was talking about everybody and their mother. I was like, that's how I know y'all don't watch me outside this little 2K shit. I was like, they don't
move like all podcast. You do is gaming. Like you got no substance. What they talking about, man?
Right.
Alyssa's deep. Listen, Alyssa goes deep, man. I'm telling you, people, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, man, that was a good show, Alyssa, man, and Jade. I was expecting more, maybe one or two people to show up, but it's all good. It's all love. You feel me? I feel like we've spoken about everything. The chat was flowing as well. Everyone in the chat, before you leave, like the video, please.
Like the video, chat. Come on. Oh,
listen,
drop them likes.
We need the likes, man. We need at least 10. At least 10 likes, and then I'm good. Normally we aim for 20, but Sunday show's been slacking. I put my hands up, I'm gonna be better, you feel me? I'm gonna be more consistent. I'm gonna be here. But yeah. Next week Sunday, we'll probably do the I wanna still do the US girls and UK girls.
Find the girls, man.
Yeah. I'm onto it, man. Waki says W show. Chris says big up. Thank you guys, man. And we are gonna be closing out. Like I said, just before you leave, like the video, go and follow Alyssa on Twitter, subscribe to her YouTube channel as well. And yeah, until next Sunday, I guess we are out, people.
Hey, I swear firms and rents pattern this.